Hello, my Teaserking family. How are you today? I am fine. I hope you enjoyed your Memorial weekend. I did. Just 1 second. What's going on? All right. We had a pretty good day yesterday. We hit our Big Ten unit basketball, Indy plus 7.5. They're winning the whole game by 8-10, and they just at the end they couldn't hold it anymore. But that's okay. We had 7.5. So the last two games we won getting 7.5. They lost by 3, and they lost by I think 3 again. I don't know. Everybody thinks how good Boston is. I don't think they're that good. I don't know. I just think the league sucks. I think Dallas will beat them with Luca Brasi. I think that'll definitely be a problem. But we'll get to that when we get to it. All right. Let's look at yesterday. So we had Indy plus 7.5, 10 units of W. Baseball, we had Toronto over 9. They win, but they don't get 9. We lose. We have KC. They lose. We have Washington over 8.5 as a winner. We have Philadelphia over 8 as a winner. And we have San Diego is a winner. Colorado we were going to take, and then they switched pitchers right at the minute I'm looking at it. I did have Colorado, and they would have won. St. Louis under 9 won. Milwaukee won. So we had a pretty good day. And then Houston lost. So we only had 3 losers. Toronto over 9 and KC were bets, but the other bets canceled them out. Washington over, Philly over, San Diego, and then, of course, the basketball. So I'm doing pretty good. When I get down to here's the pick, but let's not bet it, to let's bet this one. Since I've been doing just that, and we've been getting enough games in to get the pitchers' ERAs, I've been doing pretty good. So another big day yesterday. And let's look at the gold price right now. We got gold at $23.56, up $4. Silver $31.93. Again, some of these guys are clueless. This is not a pullback. This is not a stock. I don't understand why people think gold is a stock or silver is a stock. They're money. They're not stocks. They don't go down ever. Gold doesn't go down. It gets a derivative that is a sell that knocks it down. It has nothing to do with its correcting or profit taking. That's not what it is. Nobody's profit taking gold. You're not selling your gold so you can pay the premium and come back into it. It doesn't make any sense. So when it drops, it's just so the Chinese can buy the gold cheap, or India from Comex. It's Comex doing it. This is the 4 Comex banks that do it on purpose for China, for India, for Russia, so they can buy gold cheaper. So all they're doing is the gold price gets a little high. They do these derivatives to lower the price on purpose. They're shorting it because they want to buy it cheap. There is no correction and there is no profit taking. And once we finally get rid of this, so as I said, this is like a Ponzi scheme. The Ponzi scheme works till everybody wants their money at the same time, and Madoff doesn't have the money, so he can't. So that's why it goes out. Same thing here. If everybody wants silver and gold, which they do, and the demand keeps going up and up and up. And if that's what happens, then the Ponzi scheme's up. Comex goes out because they can't. The gold they have to have in order to do the derivative. Not it's leverage, but they have to have it. Well, once they run out of gold, and everybody asks for gold at the same time, give me the gold and gold and gold. Comex gets emptied, the Ponzi scheme's over, just like Madoff, and that's where we're getting close to. I would say in the next month or so that'll be done because the demand's huge. China and India are buying gold, and I'm sure Russia's figuring out a way to do it. So they're buying it, and then more countries, central banks are buying. It's not just central banks; it's just banks. There's a lot of just regular banks buying it. So as they buy it, it takes gold away from Comex. They run out. They can't do the Ponzi scheme. It's all over, and you won't see it drop. So listening to the guy yesterday, he calls everybody, no, gold doesn't just go up. It goes up and down and up and down. Yeah, that's Comex, fella. That is not, it's not a stock that if you didn't have the derivatives, it would just go up. It's just like baseball cards, buddy. Hemke's sitting there picking on baseball cards. It's the same thing. When Mahomes goes up because there's 50 count and it's now 500, the price doesn't drop. I've never seen the price of baseball cards drop unless it was McGuire and Sosa and Barry Bonds, all these guys who are doing all these guys that are doing the steroids. Okay, this card drop. You ever see Mickey Mantle's car go down? Tom Brady? Mm-mm. Michael Jordan? Mahomes, his car's not going to go down. Montana's, they just go up and up and up. So, don't pick on things you don't know, Hemke. He started to tell you might as well buy baseball cards. Again, he doesn't know if they're graded, they're worth a whole lot of money. So really, really, people, that's why you stay stoic. If you just sit there and you're quiet, you hear a lot of stuff. And then the guy doesn't know what he's talking about because he's talking about it. Hey, Greg and John. Pacers don't suck. The Pacers covered twice. So, we look at things differently. I look at winning money and you don't. And Pacers covered the last two games, getting 7.5. Pacers look good to me. I mean, that's what else are you looking at? Anyway, so that's where we're at with that. It's people understand gold and silver should not be going down ever. It should just be going up. There's no consolidation because then you would need a market where gold's getting sold, and it's not. Yeah, okay, the coin store. So I went today, got another quarter ounce. This is a maple leaf, quarter ounce. He says $10, 1982, $10. And it says fine gold, and it says a quarter ounce. Fine gold, a quarter ounce. So I got another one today. I took my old gold in. I had a necklace, and then I never wear it, and then just like extra clips from my watch or other watches and stuff, and that was all worthless. The chain was worth something, and I got 125, which at first I was happy with, and then I'm thinking, yeah, but these were kind of light. The chain was not heavy, and so I'm thinking, okay, I'll take it. I wanted to buy another quarter ounce. It was $650 for Canadian, $675 for US. So I took the Canadian. I brought 500 with me, and I was fully intending to buy in silver, but he had some. And then I got 125 from selling that, so I just turned it into the quarter ounce. But I asked him, so you got a bunch of gold? He says, people keep coming in when the price goes up. People are selling. They get desperate when they see the price go down. Like when the price went down $100, everybody sold. And I said, they don't understand. This is the problem. You have people doing things they don't understand. Clear and simple. They don't understand the gold is being price fixed down by derivatives, and it won't last. And then it's going back up. Well, here we go. Gold's back 23.56, and silver's 31.90. Silver got into 32.75, got kicked back. Now it's coming up again. And gold was 24.40, and it went down to 23.10, and now it's back to 23.50. At the end of the week, it'll be back to 24. And see, but they're running out of gold to keep doing the derivative. So I have gold, I can do a derivative. But when I do the derivative, I got to give up my gold. So there's only so much gold I have. And if I keep doing these derivatives, eventually I don't have any gold. I'm out of gold. I can't do the derivative. It's sort of like running out of timeouts in football. You got 3, and then when it's over, you can't use another one. And that's what, I mean, basically that's what it is. So as they are draining their gold, they won't be able to keep doing the derivatives. And then we let demand take over, and you're just going to see it run. It doesn't have to go up and down, up and down, up and down. This is not a stock. There is no profit take. It's not easy to profit take this. As I said, I can go sell this back and get spot, and okay, but then I get this shit back, which I got to get rid of. So I go sell that and go buy this again. Only it's costing me another $60, $70 in the premium. So I don't make any money. I mean, I guess if I bought it for 200, maybe I make some money, but that's about it. So that's what you have. So no, this doesn't go up and down. It's not normal for gold and silver in a free market that is not price fixed, like the baseball card market. You don't see Mahomes go down. He just goes up. He goes up, he might stay, and then he goes up again, and he might stay, but he doesn't go down. Very rare is that card going to go down in value. There's no reason for it. There's 50 of them, and it's Mahomes. Why wouldn't it keep going up? Because once the auction, okay, he gets $1,000 in the auction. Once he gets $1,000, he's not going to get less in the next auction. The guy's going to know it's worth $1,000. He's not going to sell it cheaper. And the guy buying it knows it's worth $1,000, so he will do it. All right. That's gold and silver. Again, Comex, if you run out of the dollar or the silver, the gold or the silver coins, you can't do it anymore. And silver is getting to the point, as I showed you, I think yesterday, where all the banks went to China to try to get silver because they ran out and everybody needs it. So they can't do the derivatives with it. So you're just going to see a lot less of that bullshit as we get going. All right. So that. All right. So now that we understand the game, it is not going up and down. It is not, it's Ponzi schemed, right? It's the derivatives from the bank knocking the price down. So the other China, Russia, Ukraine, or China, Russia, India can buy the gold cheaper. It is not anything to do with consolidation or anything. It's price fixing. So if you understand the game, then that's what you have. All right. So let's go to baseball. Well, let's start with basketball. It's just one game. Basketball, this I think is going to be a tough one. All right, tonight, 5:28. We got the Vikings and the Cowboys. Dallas leads the series 3-0. Dallas is again 1.5-point favorites, 211 over under. Minnesota's got their back against the wall. I don't think they can beat them. I mean, they lost the first two games at home. Okay. And then if they pulled a Denver where they won both games in Denver and then Denver won both games in Minnesota, that's not what you have here. You have Minnesota lose the first two games at home and then lose, and it wasn't that close, game 3 to Dallas. I can't take Minnesota. Yes, the back's against the wall. The spread's ridiculous, -1.5. I think Dallas sweeps them and gets it over with. However, Minnesota. Now, the one thing is Minnesota has their back against the wall and must win. There's no tomorrow. However, that's the way it was in game 3. They had to win. They didn't do it. Dallas, on the other hand, knows they can lose, but then they got to go to Minnesota for game 5, and then they might come back at 3-2. So Dallas has a little pressure to finish it, but not anywhere near the same pressure Minnesota had. Minnesota's back against the wall, but I don't think it's going to work here because I just don't think they can handle Luca Brasi. I think they're in big trouble. I don't know why Dallas is 50-32 unless they had injuries. They're killing Minnesota. And that guy, Anthony Davis, who came here, if you're so good, why are you down 3-0? You can shoot. Well, big deal. So could George Gervin. You're nowhere near him. So I'm laying away from this game. I see no point in it. The teams aren't even. Dallas should be the 2 seed, and Minnesota should be the 5 seed. But I'm not seeing anything in Minnesota that's going to make me take them. I don't see anything. So maybe play a little on Dallas. I'm not doing anything. But I think Dallas does sweep them. So sometimes you can't play back against the wall. You want to, it makes good sense, but sometimes you got to leave it alone. All right, let's go to baseball. First game today is at 4:10. We got the Dodgers and the Mets. Maybe Bobby's playing today. I don't know. Dodgers are -190. This is ridiculous. The game's in New York. They're -197.5. Tyler Glasnow, 6-3 with a 3.09 against Tyler McGill, 0-2 with a 3.00. Now, here's where I do have a problem with win-loss. He's 0-2. He hasn't won. The other guy's 6-3, virtually the same ERA. Now you can understand why the Dodgers are a 190 favorite. I'm gonna let's see this. Tyler McGill from the Mets, probably one of Bobby's friends from California. He pitched 4 innings, gave up 2 runs to Milwaukee the end of March. Then he doesn't pitch till May, and he pitches 5 innings and gives up 3 runs to Cleveland. So he's given up 2 runs and 3 runs. And then against the Dodgers was postponed yesterday. So this is only his 3rd start, so it's a bunch of bullshit. He has played 21, 22, 23 in his ERA. So this will get a better, it's 4. Yes, he's a pick, 4.66 against Glasgow. So I think we do like the Dodgers here. We do think the Dodgers will score a lot. So what do we do with the Dodgers? The Dodgers with a 2.99 ERA and a 2.55 batting average against the Mets without Bobby, a 3.52 ERA, 2.35. So the Dodgers is the better team, but that doesn't mean anything. Again, it's a single game out of 162, so the better team obviously can't win all 162 of these. 6-3 with a 3.09, 0-2, and he's not. Then gives up a lot of runs. 309 over under 7.5. Fuck. I mean, the Dodgers will score 5 runs. Mets maybe 1, maybe 2. Get you to 7 and a 7.5. It's right there. I'm going to have a pass on this game. I think the Dodgers are the play because this McGill on the Mets, the 3.0 is not real. it's a 4-inning and a 5-inning game, and he gives up 3 runs in both games. I don't. It's not like he's a real good pitcher with a 3-0. He just only pitches 4 innings a game, and then you get to the bullpen, and the bullpen is 352. It's amazing how a team will give up 4 runs with the starter, and you get to like the 6th inning, and here comes the bullpen, and they give up. You'll have 4 bullpen guys, and they won't give up a hit. And you're like, how? What do you mean they don't? A 3.0, a 4.0, a 2.0 ERAs, and they don't give up nothing in the final 4 innings. So that's all they score was the 4. I don't understand that at all. I guess that's just babying the pitcher that, okay, you pitch 10 pitches, oh, you got to come out. You're just, I don't want you to get hurt. So I'm really going to pass on this. I think the Dodgers are the play. I don't like the 190. Over under, it could go either way. Wouldn't surprise me. All right, so we're going to pass. I just can't like it. All right, Boston against Baltimore. We got Brian Bello, 5-2 with the 4.04 against Grayson Rodriguez, 5-1 with the 3.20. Let's go Baltimore here. Go Baltimore, beat Navy. And we're not gonna put anything on it. We're just gonna play Baltimore, but no bet. The Pirates against the Lions. Detroit's minus 155 and 7. That's scary. Jared Jones, 3-4 at the 205 against Tarek Skubal. Their ace, I guess, 6-1 with the 225. Skubal got the shit kicked out of him last game. That's the thing. I don't think he's real, but we'll see. Jared Jones is pretty good. Let's go under. So we will go Detroit under 7. And again, I'm not betting Detroit. They should go under with Skubal. And Jones is pretty. All right, let's go 5. We'll make it let's have a bet. We'll go 5. We regret it, but let's see. The game's in Detroit, which helps because it's a big ballpark. So, okay, I'll do that. St. Louis, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a 130 favorite, 9.5. Kyle Gibson for St. Louis, 3-2 with a 3.81. Andrew Abbott, 3-4 with a 2.68. It's a weird 2.68, 3-4, so he's there. I think this is an under. St. Louis batting 235 with a 3.94 against Cincinnati, who is 3.81 with the 2.17. Yeah, we're going to go under here. So let's go St. Louis under 9, only because it's 9.5. So we'll go under. We'll call this 5 units. All right. Oakland and Tampa, Super Bowl. Tampa minus 175, 7.5. We got Mitch Spence, 3-2 with a 4.09 against Zach Littell, 2-2 with the 3.42. We got a bunch of pigs, but I don't think either team can hit. Well, Tampa hits 2.30, no ERA. Oakland hits 2.24 with mediocre ERA. The starters are weak. Yeah, let's go over. I'm not betting it though. Oakland over 7.5. But no bet. I just think that the pitchers are weak. The bullpen's weak. They're hitting okay. I think they'll get some runs. The Dodgers and the Mets. Didn't we already do this? This is game 2. Dodgers and the Mets are at 4.10. And the Dodgers and the Mets are at 7.10. Wow, they're actually going to let the people stay. They're not going to kick them out. The 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock doubleheader. What a joke that is. That just hurts your own team because they're all tired from being there all day. All right, so Dodgers-Mets game 2. Dodgers are 125, over under 8. Gavin Stone, 4-2 with a 3.60. Jose Quintana, 1-4 with the 5.13. I got to go over in this one. Let's go the Dodgers over 8. Because they'll have used the good bullpen guys, provided the game's close in the first one, and God forbid they use them in both games of the doubleheader. So You got a 5 and a 3.60 ERAs. Yeah, you're going to get over. All right. Washington and Atlanta. Atlanta's a big 250 favorite, over under 8.5. Jake Irvin for Washington, 2-5 with the 3.79. Max Fried, 4-2 with the 3.3. I think that's like I say his name every day. He's pitching. Yesterday we have we won with Washington. We had Washington over 8.5, and we won with it. So you can see it's based on the pitcher, right? The pitcher sets up the bet here. 3.38, 3.79, 8.5. I'm going to go over here. Atlanta over 8.5. No bet. Toronto and Chicago. I mean, I had over, and Chicago didn't score on the 5.5 ERA guys. So Toronto's a 225 favorite, 7.5. Kevin Gausman, one of their better pitchers, who's 3-3 with the 4.47. Mike Clevenger 0-3 with the 6.75. Again, I would go over, but I can't count on it. Especially I got to go over. All right, we're gonna call it the White Sox instead of Toronto. Over 7, only because it's 7.5. We'll go 5 units. I mean, you got a 6.75 pitcher, 4.47 pitcher. Although we know the White Sox hit 216, so we're not. Toronto won like 5-2 yesterday, but we needed over 9. I mean, Chicago got 2 runs on a terrible pitcher, and they'll probably do the same today. But Clevenger's 0-3, so we could take Gausman, but he's 3-3 with the 4.47, and you're dealing with the 225 money line. So the only option is over 7.5. The Cubbies in Milwaukee, interesting one. We had Milwaukee yesterday and won. Today we got Ben Brown for the Cubs, 1-1 with the 3.20. We got Freddie Peralta, 3-3 with the 3.81. Yeah. Over under of 8. Milwaukee's a 160 favorite. I think this goes over. The Cubbies hitting 228 with the weak bullpen, and this is Milwaukee is hitting 256 with a 357 bullpen. This is 8. In Milwaukee and the Cubbies. Well, we just had Milwaukee to win, and they won. Ben Brown 1-1 with a 3.20. I don't know. I'm not going to bet this, but I'm going to take the Cubs over 8. All right, Kansas City, Minnesota. This was a wild one yesterday. Minnesota won it. I did have Kansas City as my 5-star, which I lost. But short memory, I don't not take KC because I lost yesterday. I just let the pitchers tell me. Cole Reagan's 4-3 with a 3.34 ERA against Simon Woods Richardson, 1-0 with the 2.57. He's a new pitcher, but he's been pitching pretty good. I'm going to go under here. Men under 7.5, but I'm not betting it. These are the games where you've got to be very conservative. A 3.34 and a 2.57. Probably an under 7.5. It's a little bit low. It's like a Georgia under. Well, it's like an Iowa under, and it's 31. You're like, yeah, I like Iowa under, but it's so low I can't play it. Arizona and Texas. Arizona's a 120 favorite, 8.5. Brandon Pfaadt, Pfaadt. I don't know how else to pronounce it. 2-3 with the 4.05 against Dane Dunning. 3-3 with the 4.43. Over under 8.5. We're going over, and we're going to bet this one. Texas over 8.5, and that's 5 units. Cleveland, Colorado. A lot of games. Tristan McKenzie for Cleveland, 2-3 with the 3.44. Ryan Feltner, 1-4 with the 5.07. Colorado's been playing well lately. Cleveland's been playing good. Over under 10.5. We're going to go over on this one. Colorado over 10.5. Yeah, we'll go 5 units on it. What the hell? The Yanks against California. The Yanks are a huge 185 favorite, over under 9. Nestor Cortez, 3 1/4 to 329 against Griffin Canning, 2 1/4 to 505. The Angels can't hit it out. We're going Yankees. New York Yanks, 5 units. Go Yankees, beat Navy. Houston, Seattle, interesting game. Hunter Brown, who absolutely sucks on Houston, 1-5 with the 706. Luis Castillo, 4-6 with the 331. And we're going to go Seattle here, 5 units. I looked at this Hunter Brown guy because there was a Hunter Green and a Hunter Brown. I looked at him, and he's from Detroit. He sucks. How this guy's in the major leagues is beyond me. But for those of you who aren't interested in the record, good luck on that one. 1-5 with the 706. He ain't winning this game. I'm waiting for the money. I'm waiting for Verlander to come. Miami against San Diego. We got San Diego minus 135 over under a 7. We did hit this game yesterday. We had San Diego. It was a 2-1 game. I think they won it in the 8th or 9th inning. Jesus Luzardo for Miami, 2-3 with a 4.14. Matt Waldron, 2-5 with the 4.86. So we have 2 pigs going. Can either team hit? I don't think so. San Diego hits 255. Miami hits 234. We're going over. So we are going San Diego, and we're going over only because it's 7. And we're going to go 5 units. So, I mean, you have a low total. You have teams that can hit fairly well. You have 2 pitchers, a 414 and a 486. Explain the 7 to me. Because I don't see how this game goes 2-1. I mean, this game's got to get the double digits. You're not going to get anybody out. And the bullpens aren't that good. They can hit decent. Although Miami's got some really weak hitting, but hey, they're all minor leaguers. It doesn't really matter. There's about 10 major leaguers in baseball right now. It's so pathetic. And last but not least, our favorite, Philadelphia against the 49ers. Always a good game in any sport. Philadelphia, 210, 7.5. Zach Wheeler, 6-3, 253. Eric Miller, 0-2, 483. We're going Philly. You got to go Philly. How can you not go Philly? And exactly. Yeah, we'll go 5 units. 5 units, Philly. Well, they're 210. All right. So we got Baltimore. We got Philly. We got Detroit under 7. We got St. Louis under 9.5. We got Oakland over 7.5. The Mets over 8. Atlanta over 8.5. The White Sox over 7.5. The Cubs over 8. Minnesota under 7.5. Texas over 8.5. Colorado over 10.5. We got the Yankees. We've got Seattle and San Diego over 7. So you can see some days I'm all on the teams because the aces are going. And then when you get these kind of games where you got the 4 ERAs going against each other, and then they got the low over-unders of 7. So then the bets are Philadelphia, 5 units. Detroit under 7. Their ace is going, 5 units. St. Louis under 9.5, 5 units. The White Sox over 7.5. You got 2 terrible pitchers. All we need is 8 runs. 5 units. Oh, they're all 5 units. Texas over 8.5. Colorado over 10.5. The Yankees, Seattle, and San Diego over 7. They're all 5 units. So it's leave emotion at the door. We basically are not playing any team. We're not looking, we're letting the situation dictate what we do. So I got pocket aces, and it comes out 8-9 of clubs with the queen or something. I'm betting $100. I'm making a big bet to protect my aces because I know I'm in trouble. If I let this guy hang in there, he's catching the straight or the flush. Either way, I got to make him pay for it. So I got to protect my aces. That's just reading the game as I'm reading the hand the way it's been played, the way it's dealt, what I got, how it's dealt. That's what I got to do. Because if I check aces and it's 8, 9 of clubs and a queen, I got to hope he hit his queen, because if he's got 6, 7 or 10 jack, or 10 jack would give him a straight, but 7, 8, let's say 9, 10, or he's got the clubs. You're not going to look at these last 2 cards for cheap. You want to pay $100 a card, fine. Now, if the next card comes 6 of clubs, 6, 7, 8 of clubs, 3 clubs, I got to check. I got to let the board tell me what to do. But if it comes 2 of hearts, now I'm going to bet 150. I know you don't have a straight or a flush. I know my aces have to be good. And then it's just a matter of that. Now, if he checks raise me, I know he's got a set, and I'm out the door. So if the flop comes 6, 7 of clubs and a queen, and he checks, and I bet $50, and he makes it 200, I'm out. Even if he's on for a flush draw, I'm out. Because if he's on the flush draw, more than likely he's going to bet. He's not going to check raise me. The check raise is I got the hand, I got the set, not I'm on a flush draw. Maybe, but I don't usually see that, because they don't want to make if they're on the draw, they don't want to make the bet. They're like, I check. They just want to see the card for free. That's the mentality, right? If I could see that 5th card and get the flush or the straight and not have to pay for it. But now if I make it $100, now it's going to cost me $100 to maybe get the straight or flush. Maybe I see 1 card, I'm not going to see 2. And am I up or down? If I'm up 500, I might see it. If I'm down 200, I probably am gone. I'm going to wait to not go broke on a real hand, not on a draw. So baseball, like basketball, we are letting the hand speak for itself. Do we have a good bet or not? Is Verlander pitching? So we don't know that right away, but then we see it. We see Houston's pitcher, and it's not Verlander. We go, it's Hunter Brown, 1-5 with the 706. Probably not going to win. TK, Mavs win tonight. Well, go bet it. You're only laying 1.5. I don't recommend it, but go ahead. I didn't bet tonight's game because Minnesota still has their back against the wall. Minnesota must win. Can they win is the thing. Is your buddy Anthony Davis gonna score 50 points? He hasn't shown up yet. Even though he's the best in the world, I don't see that. It's not a game to bet on. Sorry. The only way you can play this game tonight is Minnesota, because they must win and Dallas doesn't need it. But Minnesota hasn't matched up to them very well. So I can't bet Minnesota, even though their backs are against the wall. They must win or the series is over. And it wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota wins. But the last thing I can do is bet Dallas here. Dallas is not even a conceived thought to bet them tonight. It's either Minnesota or nothing. Or if you know the over-unders fairly well, then you can maybe get away with an over-under. Yeah, it's a no-bet game, and you don't know that the Mavs will win. I mean, that's not – we had Indiana and 7.5 was a lock yesterday. It's 10 units. That's what we had. And they were winning. I'm looking. There's 2 minutes left in the game. They're up 8. All of a sudden, they're up 4. All of a sudden, they're up 2. All of a sudden, they're down, and there's 10 seconds left. So I'm like, okay, end already. I didn't care if they won. I had 7.5. That's what I didn't understand about the point spread. So that's why when I see these strange 7.5s, I mean, what's this game? I mean, look at Miami, San Diego. You got Jesus Lazario, 2-3 with a 4.14 against Matt Waldron, 2-5 with a 4.86. How the fuck is the over under 7? Are you kidding me? You got 4.5 ERAs going. I mean, no, I know half the hitters are major league and half are minor league on every team. There's about 5 guys that can't hit 200. But, you know, even a blind squirrel catches a nut once in a while. and we only need 7 runs between the two of them. But we don't have aces. We got 5 or 4, the 4 or the 5th pitcher going tonight. 4-1-4, 4-8-6. So I really don't see how in the world we're going to do that. So I'm just laying away. I don't see anything that the over is such an obvious play here at 7. See, I don't get the 7. If it's me making the line, it's 8.5 because both pitchers are weak and the bullpens aren't that strong either. And the teams can hit 230. I mean, anybody, the 180 hitter can hit a 2-run homer. So that's the thing about baseball. It's really any hitter can hit. They get the right pitch at the right time and they hit a home run. They're not hitting 0. They're hitting, they get 2 hits in 10 at bats, not 0 in 10. So they will get hits. Yeah, the Pacers covered. Damn right, the Pacers. Well, why were they getting 7.5? That's my whole point. That spread should not have been more than 3. This spread here should be 8.5. Miami, San Diego tonight. The spreads don't make sense, and that's what we take advantage of it. That's why we're betting the over, is to take advantage of it. All right. So we talked gold and we talked Comex pretty briefly. Again, the dollar's going out. Everybody's de-dollarizing, which means strictly that it's really the FX, right? If you're in Switzerland and you want to go to Germany and you got to buy euros, you got to sell your Swiss for dollars, and you can only buy euros with dollars. So then because you can't buy euros with Swiss francs. You got to buy them with dollars. So the U.S. sticks their nose in, and everybody's pissed about it. It costs people a lot of money to keep doing the FX with the U.S., and they don't want it. The bonds they don't want because the debt is $36 trillion, and therefore, with such a high debt, you're not going to pay me back. So I don't want your T-bills. And China just dumped $50 trillion in T-bills. Japan's not buying them. Nobody's buying them. So we're basically screwed. The dollar is basically worthless. So I hate when people say it's 98. This is worth 0. If it's 98, it's 0. Okay, the only reason it still works, when I bought this today, I bought this was $650. And I bought it, and you just dance out of the store. I gave them $650 worthless dollars. I had 650 of this to get this, and I danced out the store because I know I'm killing this guy. This price is not 650. This is the paper price. Does this look like paper to you? No, this is physical. So this is nowhere near the 650 price. I would say gold somewhere about 20,000 divided by 4. This is a $5,000 quarter ounce I just got for $600. That's the point. And people can't correlate that. I think I can, because we do this, and because we do this, I think that's why I'm ahead of the curve. I know what this is about with price fixing, and I know what this is about. And I know the real price of this because there is no derivatives keeping it down. So when I show you this, when we go into eBay, and I show you these two prices, what do you think gold's really at, right? Montana's 125 grand and Jordan's 500,000. Now, the Greg Henke, who doesn't understand baseball cards, probably doesn't realize that, right? But this is what they're worth. So how is gold not worth 100 grand? You can't tell me that the Montana card's worth more than gold, or the Jordan card. Yeah, they're rookie cards and they're hard to get centered and they're limited. So's gold. But you can't tell me it's only worth 2,300 or 2,400. It's impossible. But if you understand the concepts, and you understand finance and economics, and you understand price fixing, you understand baseball cards, If you understand that stuff and you understand that this is not a stock, this is money, this is gold, this is an asset, this is the same thing as this. So, Hemke, listen up, boy. These are the same. This is an asset. It's also money. It's the same as Mahomes. I got a Mahomes card in here. All right, so here you got Mickey, 72,000. Mahomes, 500,000. And Tom Brady, 7 million. But there's only 10. So it shows you the more limited, the more the price. And the player, Mahomes, Brady, Mickey. Now, you don't think gold's worth more than these guys? You don't think gold's worth more than that or more than that? You're out of your freaking mind. But you got to understand it. And there's no difference between the Mantle card. There's a lot of demand for the Mantle card. That's why he gets 72,000. There's a lot of demand for the Brady because there's only 10 of them for 7 million. Okay, maybe that's high, but it's still 4 or 5 million. And the Mahomes card, there's only 10 of them, I believe. It's his rookie card, 500 grand. Because there's only 10 and there's a lot more. So the price is based on demand. Are you telling me there's no demand for gold? All the central banks and all the private banks in Russia and China are buying it. And I hate when these guys are so stupid, like Rickards, who says, well, China's only got 2,000 tons of gold. He talks central bank like there's no other bank and there's no shadow banks and the people's money, gold doesn't count. Or Russia, like he counts central banks. You think Putin's going to leave it in a central bank? So instead of telling the truth, he lies and says, well, the Russian central banks only got 2,000 ounces or 2,000 tons. And yeah, but the rest of the people in Putin, it's more like 25, 30,000 tons. That's what Russia really has. We don't give a shit about the central bank number. And then he'll still quote the US as 8,000 like he's an idiot. Like we're all idiots. Like, oh, yeah, we believe there's 8,000, but they won't show us. And that's where you question the validity of these guys. So when somebody says Rickard, I just go, this guy's an idiot. He's a liar. I don't trust him. And that's what I get with most of these guys, except for Egon and Mark McGuire. Hemke's, I don't trust. I think he's a liar. They don't understand when they do this. They look like idiots. They look stupid. When I can do this and I can explain this versus this. This is my half ounce. So I can explain Mantle 72 versus this. All right. If this is getting 72 grand and this is an eBay auction, free market, and this is being manipulated down, you're telling me this is only worth 1,200 because it's a half ounce. Are you out of your fucking mind? But I tell you the truth, these guys don't. These guys, oh no, 20, it's going to go up and down and 3 heads and this and that. They're all looking at it like it's stock and they're looking at it like it's free market. They're too stupid to even understand that. It's not free market. It's price fixed, fellas. Jesus Christ. I mean, are you this stupid? And you're trying to run gold shows and you want anybody to take you seriously? And anybody that listens to these clowns, you're going to get fucked in the end, just like Madoff. Greg John. Yeah, Pacers covered. Russian girls are cute. Well, it depends what your choice is. Yes, I like Russian, Ukraine girls. We'll do a stoic side note on Daria. I still haven't heard from Daria since last Wednesday. I'm getting frustrated because today I see her online and I go, hi, love, how are you? And I don't get a response. Now, keep in mind on WhatsApp, I'll get up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom, and I'll get on and I'll look at the gold price. Now, I'm not even on WhatsApp, and Jenna's looking, and Jenna will go, oh, are you okay? I see you're on. I'm not even in WhatsApp, but it shows me online. So I got to understand with Daria that it might show her online. She might be on the phone. She might be looking at her email. doesn't mean she's in WhatsApp. And when I text her, she might not be, if I'm on the phone with my buddy from Alabama and we're talking and she's texting, I'm not going to end the conversation. So I think that's what happens a lot, and it gets deceiving. I am kind of concerned that I haven't heard from her. However, since I help her with rent and food, and the last thing I got was, how are you? I love you. Doesn't lead me to think that, and I'm very careful not to, kind of bitch at her. We're good. Why aren't you doing it? Now, usually it's I've been working, or I had a problem at work, or I got upset, or my daughter, or fighting with my daughter or something. I mean, she showed me Easter, so May 5th. So there's no problem with us, but I can't get in her. All I can do is text her, how are you? I love you. What the fuck's going on? But all I got to do is just wait for her. Now I know I'm going to get I need rent. I know that's coming, but not till next week. And I just helped her with groceries. So I don't know what's going on. It's really confusing to me because every time I talk to her, it's I love you. And so therefore, why would I assume that that's not true? Most of the time we talk every day, or maybe she misses a day and then we talk, going to bed, good morning, something. She communicates with me. Now, all of a sudden, I don't get the communication for 5 days. Last time she was something with work. I think when she gets flustered, she doesn't want to talk to me. She's probably upset, so she's talking with her mother or her friend, or Alina's giving her problem. Her daughter's giving her problems, so she doesn't really want. She wants to talk to me because she loves me, but if it's a mess and things aren't good, she doesn't want to talk to me about it. And since I've been on 5 occasions with Jenna knows me well enough to tell me that. So that's for Daria. I just don't buy she's with somebody else. However, I do think that if you wanted to talk to me, you would. That's the part that bothers me. If you really wanted to talk to me, you would. Why aren't you? So I'm really super stoic now because I'm like I don't know what to think. It's so frustrating. But all I can do is, and I don't even know if I should text her. I am, just because I'm going to be myself. I'm going to honor myself, and I'm going to say I send her the picture when we start class like I normally do. I won't text as much, or tonight. Sometimes I text good night, but so I'll leave her alone. She can text me when she wants. So is there another guy? Is there another rooster in the hen house who is giving her money also? But that's a 10-minute conversation. So that's what I don't buy. She's probably talking to other guys, which I wouldn't be surprised, but that's not an all-day conversation. The only thing she does all day is work at this call center for 12 hours a day. And she's not supposed to talk to me, only family. So she talks to the daughter, maybe the mother. She's probably upset that we're waiting on the mother to travel to take care of the daughter, and we go to Serbia. And she's probably pissed at the mother because the mother hasn't given her the date yet. And I said, well, let's go in July. I told her about the job, the interviews, and she was all excited about that. So because she knows if I start making money again, then I'll give her more money. So we have no problem. There's no problem. That's the problem, because I can feel, being psychic, that I feel that, like I feel the games, and I just don't. I feel that she loves me, but then why aren't you at least texting me something? But she's done this before, where she goes a week without texting me, and I don't know what it is. My first thought is, oh, there's the guy comes into the town. She spends time with him. But then she said, I need somebody to babysit the daughter. That's why I got to wait for my mother to come. So I don't buy that. So last time she worked, I think she's working 12-hour days. She gets home, she's tired, and she goes to sleep. And that's that's my gut feeling. I just don't, I have a hard time understanding that you love me, that you can't at least say, yeah, I was working, I'm home. Because she does say that to me sometimes. So why not all the time? That's the frustration, because my read is, it's the same thing reading the games, right? A 2 ERA against a 2.5 ERA, we're going to bet it under. And it's 10-9. And you're like, what the fuck happened? That's about what's happening here. It's like, well, I know she loves me. She tells me she loves me, wants to be with me. And then where did you disappear to? Did the Russian mafia grab her for a week or what? I know there's a war going on, but they're shelling Ukraine. Ukraine's not shelling Russia. So as far as the Russian people, it's business as usual. She goes to work, she comes home, she goes to the grocery store, goes to the bank. There's no problem there. She would have no incentive to piss me off or to not talk to me if I'm helping her with rent and food. What are you doing? So it's really confusing. So that's why I believe all. I don't believe she's asking me. She didn't even ask me for food last time. That's why I'm starting to believe that there is no scam. We talked for 20 minutes and she didn't say one thing about food. And then she went away, then came back. And then I said to her, how are you with food? Are you okay? And she said, yeah, the fridge is just about empty. Can you help me? But I brought it up. She didn't even bring it up. So she wasn't texting me saying, hey, I need money for food. Okay, goodbye. Thank you. She doesn't do that. So that's when I did tell her I was watching the bricks from Kazan, and she goes, are you in Kazan? And she had this worried look on her thing. I said, no, I'm watching on YouTube. I said, the only time I'm coming to Russia is to see you. I'm not going to Kazan to see the BRICS conference. That was so funny. And then I had to explain it. Well, it's gold-backed currency, and then we got all the gold. So when that happens, the gold price will shoot up. But anyway, I think so. Stoic. All I can do is wait for her. It's painful. I hope I don't have to wait too long. And then I hope I have a good explanation. And then I'm going to try not to be too upset. Say, look, we've talked about this. Keep me in the fucking loop. Even if you just say hello, have a nice day, and you don't want to tell me about what your mother did or what your daughter did or what happened at work. But she's very sensitive. So I helped her with her teeth. So she needed the pillar things. And I gave her money for that. And she says, well, she went for the dentist to get it fitted, and then she has to go back and get them put in. So she goes back to get them put in, implants. And she said, I'm scared to go to the dentist. Well, she's telling me she's a scared girl. So there's things that happen when she does this is she doesn't want me to find out. And that's what I'm kind of learning. And Jenna's 360. Jenna's a tough girl. She's in the middle of a fucking war and nothing bothers her. Daria's a scared girl. And, who knows? So I think I'm dealing with apples and oranges. That's why I say, well, Jenna texts me every day, but we've been on 5 vacations, haven't met Daria yet. So that's really the difference. Once we meet, it'll be fine. But to be stoic, all you can do is be yourself and then let her just wait for her to finally, let you in. So it's sort of like a kid having a tantrum. I don't want to talk. I don't want to eat dinner. And then you just got to wait for them to calm down. And that sounds like what I'm doing. So when I see her online and I believe she's working and I say, hi, how are you? I don't know why she's not texting me back, but that's the frustrating part. But anyway, it's very frustrating to me because it's not what I'm expecting. And it's, as you can hear, it happens way too often for some reason. But all I can be is stoic and then determine what I want. Do I really want to keep putting up with this shit or just say, forget it? Or, I know if we meet, everything will be fine. She's probably scared to meet me also. And then it's just a matter of all I can do is wait for her response. But that's stoic. And that's the most frustrating part of life is you got to be yourself, but you can't regulate the responses. So if you say hi to a guy at the pool and they don't say hi back, there's nothing you can do. You can't make them say hi. You can just, but you got to be yourself. You got to be stoic. How you doing? Answer or no answer. And the same thing with Daria. All I can say is, hi, I love you, have a nice day. And either she responds or she doesn't. She doesn't. And then the next day, I'm still going to be myself and say the same thing. How are you? Have a nice day. And really, that's all you can do. And then it's just up to her to finally answer and tell me what the fuck's going on for a week of it's unbelievable because our chat on Tuesday and Wednesday was great. And then all of a sudden I knew she was working, but sometimes she texts me from work. Sometimes she doesn't. Like if I give her money, if I give her food or rent, she will text me from work saying, thank you. And she always thanks me, very nice about it. And then says, I am working. So she can text me from work if I'm giving her money, but I won't give her money now because she's not even reading my text. So she's got to tell her sister that I sent money. So she takes it in dollars, switches it to rubles and pays her in rubles because I can't PayPal Russia. So she's got to see it to tell her sister. So if I just send it, she won't get it for a week. So that's just stupid. All right. Yes, Russian girls are cute. They really make good girlfriends if you just want them. If you want to have 3, 4 girlfriends, or you cheat on them, or or you lie to them, they'll kill you. They're like scorpions, right? You can't fuck around with them. But if you are like what I'm doing with Daria, then she'll be very loving and take care of you. So that's where I'm at with Daria. But where the fuck are you? Like, where are you? Don't you want to talk to me? That's the problem I have is why aren't you reaching out to me? And it's usually, I didn't want you to know this or that. And I think she's being honest, but who knows? All right. So yes, Russian girls are cute and they make good wives and good girlfriends, and they are very pretty and very nice bodies. Most of them are nice and thin and tight because they walk everywhere, ride the bike. They're poor, so they have to, right? Not like the American girls who are really big. Not interested. All right. So let's see. My maple leaf. What did I buy? Spent $260 today. So this coin in the auction is $12.81. This is the half ounce, right? And then the quarter ounce maple leaf. Well, here's a quarter ounce US, 665. So this is probably I paid 647, but it's probably 650, whatever. But my guy's store is a very good price. Oh, here it is, 630.94 in one auction. And my Philharmonic, 644. I think this 634 is light. I bet you this is sold out. That's a very good price, 630. All right, so that is that. So now let's talk about college football week 1. We've talked pro football week 1 about a week ago. I gave you my lines and my what I thought would be the starting quarterbacks, and kind of broke the game down a little bit. Like KC Baltimore are probably going under in the game. A lot of them, we got to see who the starting quarterbacks are. I do not believe Drake will start this year, and I don't believe J.J. McCarthy will. At the end of the day, Minnesota's going to go with Sam Darnold because they're going to see McCarthy can't throw a 5-yard pass. That's all he can throw. Drake May never should have been drafted at all. And New England's going to see Brissett, and they're going to go, we're taking Brissett's got the experience. That's the problem with the coaches. They can't really judge talent, so they go to experience. So you'll never see Drake May this year or McCarthy unless there's injuries. You will see Daniels. Washington doesn't have anybody. And then Caleb at the Bears, huge mistake. I hear a lot of the betting that they're betting the Bears don't make the playoffs. I don't see the Bears winning 5 games, to tell you the truth. I don't see where you give the guy 3 receivers and no offensive line and no running attack. What do you think these teams are going to blitz him, and he's going to get sacked half the time and throw a bunch of interceptions like the Notre Dame game? This is why we bring out the Notre Dame and UCLA games, because they have pro defenses and they got in his face and the guy threw a bunch of interceptions and no touchdowns. That's what you're going to see, and we've seen how he handles that, and he doesn't handle it very well. On the other hand, Cam Rising does, as does Bo Nix, as does Penix. You can see how they handled it. The fact McCarthy won a championship was a joke because he just handed the ball off. They had 4 big touchdown runs in the game. He didn't do anything. And the same thing with Caleb didn't do anything. And Drake May didn't do shit against Clemson and North Carolina State and the better teams. He didn't show up. See, that's why you look at the defenses. How does he do against the good defenses? And I think Caleb played Arizona, right? It was 28-all at the end of the regulation. But watching the game in the first half, I think so. This is starting 8/24, August 24th. We got Bobby's LSU. We got Florida State against Georgia Tech. Florida State's 13.5-point favorites, and I do not have over-unders. Florida State, if they got Buglia, I wouldn't lay 5 points. If Georgia Tech, their coach is still there and their quarterback's still there, Georgia Tech's a very live dog in this game because they were a pretty good team. Florida State with Buglia, forget about it. And I still can't believe who signed the Jordan Travis. What a joke that was. I think the Jets. This guy can't walk for like 2 years. What are you doing? Maybe you pick him up as a free agent. Why didn't you draft Hartman? I don't understand it. Yeah, Jordan Travis can't walk, but we're going to draft him and not take Hartman. What a mistake. So I like Georgia Tech if their quarterback's still there. So this is going to be, let's just get the feel of who's playing. SMU and Navy also on the 24th. SMU's a killer, good quarterback, good explosive team. Nevada, not too good. We like SMU here. I'm not going to talk Murray State, Missouri. I'm only going to talk when both teams are good. All right, Temple against Oklahoma. Oklahoma, who's their coach? Who's their quarterback? Oh, no, we know the coach is from Clemson. The quarterback, Gabriel, went to Oregon. What the fuck was that? I mean, not happy at Oklahoma. Couldn't afford him? I mean, come on. I got Oklahoma minus 40 here. Temple stinks, but I don't know who Oklahoma's quarterback is. Probably decent. This should be a game Oklahoma runs away with it because it's week 1 and Temple stinks. So, but I'm not laying 40, at least not until I know the quarterback. What a great game on the 31st now. So that was the 24th with Florida State and SMU. Florida State, Georgia Tech, yes. Then we go to the Friday the 30th is Temple, Oklahoma. And then the game of the day, Saturday, August 31st at noon, Clemson at Georgia. Georgia's favored by 13.5. Just give me a 50, and this is going to be a lock under. We know Georgia. We know their defense. Kirby Smart. Clemson will be lucky to get a first down. But let's see, Clemson does play good defense. They don't have good offense, but they got good defense. I would think this game will be a low. This is, if you give me a 50, it's under 56. So love it. I made that mistake a few years ago when the game ended 10-9 and Georgia won, or 10-7. As the season wore on, I realized that Clemson had a great defense. Georgia had the great defense. Had we gone back to week one, this would have been a 50-star lock, go under in the game. Unfortunately, so now I've wisened up. I know Georgia, killer defense. Clemson usually has a pretty good defense, so we will see. But this smells like the first lock here, go under in this game. But all I have is Georgia 13.5. Again, this is Saturday, August 31st. This is the noon game. Also Saturday, Penn State, West Virginia. Penn State laying 10. I don't know, West Virginia. Penn State beat them last year. West Virginia is at West Virginia, revenge game. West Virginia plays Oklahoma, Texas, all these games. I think they're still in the Big 12. I don't know. I'll find out when I get my magazine. I don't mind West Virginia in 16 here, but we got to see the quarterbacks. Let's see. Akron against Ohio State. Oh, so Saturday, August 31st. They don't have a line. I'd say Ohio State by 35. Akron sucked. They were a Z team last year. Ohio State, they get Will Howard, the quarterback, Kansas State. Very good. They get Chip Kelly, the coach from UCLA, to be their offensive coordinator. So you know Ohio State's going to have a power running game, and Will Howard's a good running quarterback, and they're going to score 60 points a game. So I'll look for Ohio State big here. I don't know what to say. They've lost to Michigan now, what, 3 years in a row? I know 2, but maybe it's double. I thought it was double revenge last year. But if they lose to Michigan this year, the coach is gone, right? You got to beat Michigan. So look for Ohio State to be really, really upset this year. They were really upset last year. We did win with them against Michigan as a dog. And again, I think they're going to kill Michigan. Michigan lost their coach. McCarthy sucked anyway. The running back, I don't know. The defensive coordinator went to the Chargers. So I think Ohio State's going to be the big lock against Michigan this year. Arizona, New Mexico, also on the 31st. Arizona, now their coach, I believe, went to Oregon State. The Oregon State coach went to Michigan State. He's a good coach at Arizona. They played really good. They had a good quarterback, good defense. Is the quarterback still at Arizona? Did he follow the coach to Oregon State? This I'm not sure. And then you just don't know who the new coach and new quarterback are, if they're any good or not. So it's a tough one. New Mexico's playing decent. We got to see the line. We got to read who the quarterbacks are. Idaho against Oregon. I don't know if Idaho is Division I or Division II. They were Division I, then they went down to Division II. They might be. Oregon with Gabriel, they'll put up 50 a game. Interesting game. Weber State Division II against Washington. Be curious to see Washington's coach, coordinator, quarterback. What do they got here? Because they lost their top, obviously Penix, the coach, the offensive coordinator, Oduzzi, and Penix. So what do we have here? I'm not sure. So this is what you gotta wait and watch Washington, because it was all the coach. And you happen to get Penix, so that's what made them. But they're both gone, so you don't know who replaced them as any good at either position. So that's a wait and watch. We're still on August 31st. Houston Christian. I didn't know there was a Houston Christian. Colorado State and Texas, still on 831. Texas, we know, but they are now in the SEC. Colorado State, they suck. Texas should win by 40. I don't see a spread. My spread would be probably 39-40. Probably an over because Texas just gets rolling. You know, the backups come in the third quarter and they play for playing time, and that's the one thing about college football. You bring in the second team running backs, receivers, quarterbacks, and they are playing for playing time, and the running back goes for 200 yards and he gets 5 touchdowns because he wants to show he can play. So that's why these big favorites against the Colorado States and everything are we like them in the beginning. Western Kentucky against Alabama, interesting. So Alabama's got the Washington coach, who I really like, DeBoer. I think he's much better than Saban. Probably be a really high scoring game because I think he'll load it up. They're supposed to get a new quarterback, not Milrose. And Western Kentucky always has a good offense. I don't know that Alabama's going to have the shutdown defense that they normally have with Saban. He runs the Steeler defense. This guy's not going to run it. Did he keep the Alabama defensive coordinator? Probably, if he didn't leave. So he's probably brought in the Washington guy. So they're not going to be as strong defensively, but they will be very good offensively. This will show you how good the quarterback, the head coach is, because he'll bring in his offense and look for this to be a 70-point game here. Fresno State at Michigan. Look at Michigan. They're playing a real team, not a high school team. Oh, my God. Fresno State, we know Haener went to the Saints. They had a good quarterback. I think Mikey Keene from UCF last year. We got to see who their quarterback is. Michigan lost their quarterback, their coach, defensive coordinator. It was a joke last year. They played a very, very weak schedule. The one team that's good was Ohio State, who wasn't really that good. The one team on their schedule was Ohio State, who looked terrible last year. So Michigan gets a fake national championship, asterisks all over it. At least Fresno State's on board. Fresno State should give them all they want. They always have a good offense, a good quarterback. Devontae Adams went there, Carr went there, and Habner went there. So they get good quarterbacks. They usually have good offenses. Usually it's their defense that lets them down. We will see, but they should be able to put points up on Michigan. Notre Dame A&M. We're still on 8:30. The Michigan game's at 7:30, and so is Notre Dame A&M. A&M's shows as a 1-point favorite. I don't like Notre Dame's coach. If you couldn't win with Hartman, I don't know who you got. Their offensive coordinator was so bad, he went on. But I don't really like their coach. I think A&M gets a win at home. Who's going to replace Hartman at Notre Dame? Augustine, the running back, was gone. They've had a decent defense, but A&M's a pretty good team. I like A&M here. Superficially, again, we got to read the quarterbacks. Here you go, Bobby. LSU against USC. Bobby. So I don't know who the quarterback's going to be for LSU now that Daniels is gone and Caleb's gone. Now we know his replacement. We saw him in the bowl game throw 6 touchdown passes. So don't tell me it isn't the system. It isn't, we got LSU as a 6.5-point favorite. This is an over game. Give me anything give me 61 and under. And this could be the other end of our lock with the Georgia under with this over. We know the USC coach runs that Oklahoma offense that is just, you're going to score a lot. It's just a bullshit offense. You keep drafting the quarterback out there thinking he's good, and none of them are any good. Kyler Murray, he's just fast, hurts. What happened to him last year? And then Caleb's going to do shit. LSU, I do like Brian Kelly. LSU 6.5-point favorites. For you, Bobby, I think LSU is good, but I do like the over in the game. Again, LSU is not is very good. USC doesn't have a defense. He never had a defense at Oklahoma. He just score a lot of points. And I don't see anything different with that. And again, USC is a Big Ten team. This is 7:30. Very interesting. Love the over here. Jarsick Filmy, hello, welcome to our class. Any thoughts on the latest David Garzinski appearance? Who's that? I don't know who that is. David Garzinski. Please help me on that. Who is he? So probably no thoughts on it because I've never heard the name before. It's a guy. Yeah, David, I figured it's a guy, but what is the point of it? Who is this guy? Is he political? Is he a sports guy? Help me out. He's just a fella. I don't know. Where are you getting this name from? What has he done that you're coming up with him? All right. Just been up to some stuff. Hold on. Let me Google them. Boston College, Florida State's playing a second game. I love when these teams play the first week and then they play again. Florida State lane 21. Florida State's not going to be good with Uglia Buglia. I love their coach, but they lost Travers. They lost a lot of defense. And they'll probably be good defensively, but Uglia Buglia is a terrible quarterback. All right, let me go to just been a big fan of baseball. So he's a fan of baseball. Let's see. So this guy's name is David. And his last name is Gar. CZY. And SKI. He's a writer, big fan of rocks, weather, and water, Bylines New Yorker, or is he ECS, New York City metropolitan area activities and social societies? I mean, this is what I'm coming up with. I don't have any idea who he is. On Instagram, Sonic Healthcare. Okay, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. All right, so that's week one. That takes you to 9-2. We're going to go to week two and get more info. Okay, on 9-6, we got BYU against SMU. Oh, look at Michigan. They're playing Texas too. Oh my God, they played more games in the first 2 weeks than they did all last year. How about that? BYU, SMU. BYU is always a mystery. SMU is a very good team, very good offense. Texas, Michigan. I like Texas. I don't know. We got to see who Texas is next year, and we got to see who Michigan is. But my money, look at Texas as a 3.5-point favorite at Michigan, and I got a feeling without Harbaugh, I think I like Texas too. Probably maybe an under. I don't know. We've got to see who the team is. This is where losing Harbaugh, losing the defensive coordinator, losing Jimmy Walker, losing the running back, and half the defense. And you got new coaches. Are they going to run the same defense? Who the hell knows? But I don't like Texas being a 3.5-point favorite at Michigan. But we will see. Appalachian State, Clemson. No line. We're on 9-7 now. I don't know. I don't know how good Clemson is. App State's usually a very good coach team, very good team. Probably a live dog if you're getting in the 20s. My Buffalo team, I was all over them a few years ago against Missouri. Ooh, Missouri's going to be mighty tough. They got a really good quarterback and a really good running back and a good defense. Well coached. If everything stayed, I love Missouri here. They're going to be your surprise, top 5 team. I get a call that says potential scam. I love it. Boy, that's really good. There's a potential scam. Houston against Oklahoma. Again, we don't know who Oklahoma's quarterback is. Houston, they need a quarterback. Their coach kind of sucked. So we will have to see Houston and Oklahoma. Looks like an over game for me. Arkansas against Oak State. I know our quarterback, whatchamacallit, I can't think of his name. He moved on. He's not on Arkansas anymore. Oklahoma State's got my favorite running back. Look for Oklahoma State to score a lot with my running back. Iowa State, Iowa. Here's our lock for this week. Iowa's 2.5-point favorite. Play the game under. Like if it's 10, we're going under. We'll go under 16. Always a low-scoring game. Iowa State always have good defenses and never really good offenses. They're always Western Michigan, Ohio State. Again, Ohio State should be explosive next year with Chip Kelly as their coordinator and Will Howard as their quarterback. They will be very dynamite. Look for Ohio State to win this game by 50. And because they played poorly the last few years, look for them to really put up big numbers to say, look, we're good this year. Go Ohio State, beat Western. Bowling Green, Penn State. Penn State is much better at home. Bowling Green was terrible last year. I don't know how the NIL is going to impact it. Who's going to go to the MAC if the NIL is paying this money? So anybody that's any good on Bowling Green transfers out, and they're stuck with a bunch of nobodies. Where before they'd get good players, right? They'd get a guy who was a 2-star, and then he was really a 5-star. But now I don't know if they'll be any good at all. So I probably like Penn State, especially if they lose to West Virginia in the week 1. We're still on 9-7. Liberty against New Mexico State. Liberty had that good quarterback. The coach, I think, is good. New Mexico State's very good. They were 10-5 last year. How the fuck did they lose to UMass? That was my lock week 1. And the guy throws some interceptions, and they lose. They lose the game, and it was and then they go beat all these good teams, like motherfuckers. So I like New Mexico State as a live dog in this game. Boise against Oregon. Boise's slipping. They're not like the old Boise with Kellen Moore. Oregon, they'll have Gabriel. I look for Oregon to win big here. Oregon at home wins big, especially with Gabriel. Good quarterback. Now we got Washington against Eastern Michigan. So now they play, after the tough game, they play Nobody. Eastern's terrible. They'll have a game under their belt. We'll have to read the stats. This is where you read the stats after week one. How'd the quarterback do? How many yards? Did they have a running back who gained 150 yards? How are their receivers? Kind of defense. So you learn all that week one. So it's going to be hard, although I think we play them here, but it's going to be hard with them. Georgia, after Clemson plays Tennessee Tech, so no comment as they play a high school team. I always love this. They play a fucking high school team. Why are they playing high school teams? God, it pisses me off. South Florida against Alabama. Alabama should kill South Florida. South Florida is not very good. LSU gets Nicholas State, again, high school team. Old Miss against Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee's usually a pretty good coach, a pretty good offense. Old Miss, I think that's Lane Kiffin. Could be a good game. Could probably high scoring. Oregon State, San Diego State. So if the Arizona coach is now the Oregon State coach, Oregon State will be a very good team. San Diego State never has a good offense, decent defense. Probably Oregon State here. We're still on 9-7. Is Jacksonville State in Division I? I don't know. They play Louisville. Northern Illinois against Notre Dame. Northern Illinois is usually a pretty good MAC team. Notre Dame, I don't like their coach. Their offensive coordinator left, so we'll have to see who they got, who their quarterback's going to be. And it won't be as good as Hartman, and the running back won't be that good as Augustine. So we'll see. Kansas State against Tulane. Tulane's very good. Good coach. Their quarterback, I think, got drafted. Bryn should have. Kansas State's an excellent team, but they lost their quarterback, Howard, to Ohio State. That kind of garbage I don't like. Where's Howard going? Why isn't he finished? He's played 4 or 5 years at Kansas State. What the fuck is he doing transferring? That's ridiculous. Tulane, their guys aren't transferring. I don't know. We'll have to see how many points we get and who the new Kansas State quarterback is. I don't mind Kansas State's coach. Pretty good. And first real big game, we got Tennessee against NC State. Tennessee's a 5.5-point favorite at NC State. I love the Tennessee coach. Good offensive coach. They score a lot of points. NC State doesn't. Pretty good defensive team. So, don't know. Probably like Tennessee here. Maybe an over. I don't know. NC State's a pretty good defensive team normally, but Tennessee can light it up. So maybe it's a Tennessee even. This is a hard game because it's at NC State. And that is week 2. Let's go week 3. All right, we'll look at week 3, and then that'll be it. Arizona at Kansas State. Kansas State's the 7.5. I don't know why they got a line on this. Kansas State 7.5. Arizona, again, lost their coach to Oregon State. Who's the new coach? Who's the new quarterback? Although they had a quarterback, Fajita, was excellent. So he probably went to Oregon State with the coach. But if he didn't, Arizona will be very good. Kansas State, Will Howard, but he was in his 6th year, so they probably got a decent backup. Alabama against Wisconsin, and we know who's on Wisconsin, Tyler Van Dyke. This will be a very high-scoring game. Van Dyke we know he can light it up. Alabama is going to light it up with the Washington offense. And I doubt why Alabama's defense. I don't know. He probably kept a good defensive coordinator, but we'll see. Memphis against Florida State. We're on 9-14 now. Florida State's got a tough schedule, and they got Uglia Buglia. They're going to lose a lot of games. Tech against NC State. If NC State loses to whoever they were playing, LSU or Tennessee. So if they lose to Tennessee, look for them to beat Tech. Old Miss and Wake Forest should be a high-scoring game. BC, Missouri, love Missouri here. Tulane and Oklahoma, this is an over game. Tulane can light it up. Oklahoma can light it up. Look for an over. Troy and Iowa. Ooh, very good game. I like Troy here. Troy's a good team. Iowa, they can play defense. Although they'll have McNamara, the Michigan quarterback, got hurt last year, will probably be okay to play. He hurt his knee, but I like Troy. Troy's a very good team. So, very good chance for an upset here. Probably a good under. Arkansas State and Michigan. Look at Michigan. 3 hard games to start. Arkansas State's not bad. Pretty good offensive team. We'll see what Michigan's all about. Oregon State. Interesting. Now, again, Oregon's in the Big Ten and Oregon State's in the Pac-10. So kind of a strange game. Oregon State with the Arizona coach, and it's at Oregon State. This will be interesting. Washington State. Again, Pac-10 versus Big Ten. Washington's an 8.5-point favorite. Washington State's pretty good. I think their quarterback left for Miami, but they can do better. Washington, we don't know what we got right now. So this is what we're going to study the first few weeks. Bobby, your LSU team's at South Carolina. LSU should kill them, although we got to see who their quarterback is. But I like Brian Kelly's a good coach. He's always explosive. They'll get a lot of points here. Kent State, Tennessee. Here we go. Lock, Tennessee, win by 50. UTSA, my Roadrunners against Texas. Ooh, very interesting. Texas will be coming off of the Michigan game. Will be flat. They got UTSA. If they lose to Michigan, I don't want anything to do with UTSA. If they beat them, I kind of like UTSA getting over 20. Oak State, Tulsa. Ollie Gordon, our running back. Look out, especially against Tulsa. So Oak State I like. UTEP and Liberty, probably Liberty at home. We're still on 9-14. Notre Dame and Purdue. The old rivalry. Again, I don't know. I got to see Notre Dame's coaches and quarterback and defense, and Purdue, they probably suck. And our Georgia, Kentucky. Do I not have all the games? Oh, I got top 25. Motherfucker. Okay. Anyway, Georgia, Kentucky. Go Georgia, beat Kentucky. So let's go back to week 1. And instead of top 25, let's go FBS. My apologies. I hate when it does that. I didn't ask for top 25. It just assumes it. All right, let's see. Most of these are high school games. Kansas against Lindenwood, although I like Kansas. North Carolina, Minnesota. Okay, good game. Who's the new North Carolina quarterback? The next Thurston Howell III, Drake May, Mitch Trubisky. The guy will suck, but they'll make him good because I don't know why. Against Minnesota, so we'll have to see. Yeah, most of these are just crap. Elkhorn State, UAB, New Hampshire, UCF. So you're getting a lot of Division II. Arkansas against Arkansas Pine Bluff. So we're probably good with the top 25s. So week 1, Duke and Elon. Army against Lehigh. Go Army, beat Lehigh. Oklahoma, we talked. TCU, Stanford. Okay, TCU's 10.5 over Stanford. This is on Friday, 8:30. I love TCU's coach. They'll probably Stanford's terrible. They'll probably light them up. TCU, they go to the national title. The quarterback's gone. Some of their key play, the wide receiver's gone. And then, so they go 5-7 last year. But look for them to bounce back this year. Clemson, Georgia, we talked about. Georgia State, Georgia Tech. That's Division I. Georgia State's a pretty good team, well coached. Georgia Tech, we'll have to see who the quarterback is. Maryland against UConn. UConn sucks. Maryland's not much better. Tagliavua Jr. didn't get drafted. He sucked. A lot of interceptions. That's how Tagliavua would have. If he would have went to Maryland instead of Alabama, Tagliavua, he wouldn't have got drafted either. Just because he went to Alabama, and everybody thinks every player at Alabama is good for some reason. Kent State and Pitt. I don't know. Pitt should win. Kent State's terrible. Ohio against Syracuse. Pretty even game here. Penn State we talked about. UTEP against Nebraska. Who knows? We got to watch that one. Florida International against Indiana. They both suck. Michigan State against Florida Atlantic. So Michigan State has Oregon State's coach. They'll be much better than Florida Atlantic's pretty good. Michigan State at home, new coach. We'll have to see. Miami of Ohio against Northwestern. First 1-7 will win. Pathetic. We talked Ohio State. Western Michigan at Wisconsin. So again, we have Tyler Van Dyke at Wisconsin. We had the SMU quarterback go to Wisconsin last year and didn't do shit. Van Dyke's very good, but again, it's a defensive team, and the coach is the Ohio State Cincinnati coach who probably wants to run the ball. So I don't know why Van Dyke went there. It's probably his only option. No. Wyoming against Arizona State. Wyoming's usually a pretty good team. Arizona State sucks. This could be a live dog in Wyoming, but they're usually better at home than they are at Arizona State. Kentucky against Southern Miss. This should be a good game for Kentucky. They're usually pretty good at home. Old Dominion against South Carolina. This should be a good game. Old D's okay. South Carolina, Rattler sucked anyway. I can't believe Rattler got drafted. Who the fuck wants that guy? VTech and Vandy. I don't know. Maybe the dog. Yeah, it sure makes a difference when you have all the teams instead of just the top 25. Vegas against Houston. Vegas had a good quarterback last year. Houston's guy sucked. Probably an over here. Oh, my Air Force goes against Merrimack. What's the point of these games? Why is Texas Tech playing Abilene Christian and Air Force against Merrimack? What the fuck? UCLA goes to Hawaii. UCLA, the new coach has never coached before. He's got 21 assistants. Really? So he has no idea what he's doing. So he hires all these assistants to call the plays, call the defense. Really stupid. Then why'd you hire a head coach? Hawaii, third year into this guy's system, they should be a little bit better. But UCLA had a really good defense. So let's see what they are this year. Bucknell against my Navy team. Go Navy, beat Bucknell. Boise goes to Georgia Southern. That'll be a really tough game for Boise. I like Georgia Southern there. Eastern Michigan against UMass. UMass stinks. Eastern's okay, nothing special. Nevada at Troy. I like Troy, as I said. Oh, Miami and Florida. Neither of them are ranked. Miami's a 3.5-point favorite. I like Florida. You're making Florida a home dog to Miami, who sucks with the worst coach in the history of coaching? I'll take Florida in the points. That's 831, 330. Colorado State, Texas. I think we talked about that. Sam Houston and Rice. Sam Houston's now Division I. Rice was pretty good last year. We'll have to see. All right, and that's it. So that's all I'm going to do is week 1. So there's a few games we have to study, we have to figure out. Anyway, so that's college football, getting a little bit into the mood. NFL, we've done week 1. We can do it again a couple weeks. Always good to talk football. So the key with college is understanding the quarterback and the defense and the new coach to get the expected outcome. So when we get a Georgia defense, we're expecting low scoring games. We're expecting Georgia to win 35 nothing because they score enough, but their defense is killer. Iowa State, we got week 2. We're expecting a 10-7 game. 2 good defenses. The coaches haven't left, so the defenses will be outstanding. And then is McCartney from Michigan, who's the Iowa quarterback, hurt his knee? Is he ready to go? Iowa State, their quarterback threw a lot of picks, but started getting better near the end. We'll have to see. But they were scoring a lot of points, Iowa State. But against Iowa, it'll be 10-7. It always is. So you want to learn the new defense. So you look at the box scores after the first week's games. You're going to look at the box score. You're going to see who's, usually what happens is the quarterback, there's always a couple that you never heard of, throws for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, like Prime Junior last year. And that's who you start following. You start going, okay, that's who it is. And you look at that. But that's what we're looking for to get expected outcomes. So we got to know the team. Are they high scoring or low scoring? Or are they strong defense? So there could be low scoring with a weak defense, or low scoring and a strong defense like Georgia was, like Iowa State. And that's what you're looking at, UCLA. So these teams are great defenses and not much offense. Georgia's got a pretty good offense, although they lose Brock Bowers. So that's what you're looking at. So that's the research we do for the first couple of games. That's why the first couple of weeks are hard to pick. We don't know what we've got. And then like I was talking about the Georgia Clemson game a few years ago, would have been a lock under, but I didn't know. Then I started seeing the Georgia defense, and I said, shit. And I started betting them under. And the perfect under was the first week against Clemson, but I didn't know it. And that's what I tend to do. So once I learn the team, then we can bet them. Before that, I'm leery to bet them because I really don't know the team. So I just lay away from it. But that's football. That's the expected outcome. And it's easier than baseball. Baseball is too much average. Defense, Iowa's defense, we know they're not giving up 14 points in the game. So it's not an average. Right? When you look at an earn run average or a batting average in baseball, you're anticipating the guy maybe gets, the guy hits 300. He's going to hit. The bullpen pitches 2.0. They're going to shut you down. But it's an average. Then they give up 5 runs. You're like, how the hell did that happen? So football is much easier. We know the quarterbacks, Mahomes, Joe Burrow. We know the defense, Kansas City, Baltimore, Oakland. We can see these guys have strong defenses, and you can go accordingly. And then you start ranking the teams. Well, in the pros, we need about 3 weeks because there's no training camp. They play these stupid scrimmages thinking that's the key, and it isn't. That's why there's 10 new coaches every year because they're all fucking idiots. Except for Kansas City. I'm not even sure Cincinnati's coach is any good. Buffalo's coach is terrible. Harbaugh should be gone from Baltimore. He's terrible. I don't like the Miami coach. Oakland's got a new coach. Green Bay's coach seems to be a good offensive coach. McVay's good at the Rams. San Francisco's, their coach sucks. Every big game he's in, he chokes. It's fucking ridiculous with this Shanahan guy. He choked the Atlanta Super Bowl with a 24-point lead, and then he choked the Niner, Kansas City, both Super Bowls that they had the lead, and he choked them. So he's got serious choke issues. Harbaugh going to do at San Diego. He did good for the Niners, much better than he did at Michigan. So I don't know. He had to cheat at Michigan to win, which really turned me off. Denver, we know Sean Payton. So the coach gives you a foundation of he's a good coach, their teams win to get to the expected outcome. That's what you're trying to do. Sort of like gold, the dollar's going out because they're printing it. So it's like the Titanic, as I like to say. It hits the iceberg. So what happens next? The water goes in the ship. the ship sinks. You got to get on the lifeboat. So you can see very clearly the ice causing the ship, the water to come in to sink. And you can see it in the sports. A good coach, McVay and Sean Payton and Andy Reid, you know what's going to happen. They're going to play good offense. They're going to play good defense. They're going to be a good team. So A leads to B leads to C. So we can bet those teams. I don't know what happened with Denver with Russell Wilson, but Bo Nix, I think, is a very good quarterback. I don't think they'll miss anything. I think he'll light it up. He'll be the rookie of the year. How they let him fall is just idiotic GMs who listen to Mel Kiper. I mean, if I'm the Bears, I take Bo Nix, or I take Penix. I do not take Caleb. Just amazing how they would think Caleb's the number one out of this class. You got to be kidding me. So that's what you're looking for, the expected outcomes, right? As I go to Daria, I text her, hello, I love you. How are you today? I expect a response. When I don't get the expectation, you're kind of going, sorry to go back to this. You're kind of going, well, do you want to talk to me or not? It sounds like you don't want to talk to me. Unless you need rent or money, then you want to talk to me. But then you do say, I love you. So that confuses the issue. But where are you for 5 days? You don't want to talk to me I never heard of that. You love somebody, but you don't want to talk to them for 5 days. And then you make up, well, I was tired. I had a fight at work, this, that, and the other. I just didn't want to talk. I was trying to sort it out. I didn't feel good. I mean, you're like, you've shown me pictures when you're at the doctor and when the daughter's at the doctor and this and that. What are you talking about? So that's what I wonder is, where are you for those 4 or 5 days? And it's happening too much. So you're like, do you want to talk to me or not? Let's make it simple. And I don't really understand it, but it's not consistent with what it is. So anyway, we will see. All right, so let's go through. We're not playing the basketball game tonight. Let's go through our picks. We like Philadelphia tonight, 5 units. Detroit under 7, 5 units. St. Louis under 9.5, 5 units. The White Sox over 7.5, 5 units. Texas over 8.5, 5 units. Colorado over 10.5, 5 units. The Yankees 5, Seattle 5, San Diego over 7 for 5 units. We also like Baltimore. These games we're not playing for money. Baltimore, Oakland over 7.5, the Mets over 8, Atlanta over 8.5, the Cubbies over 8, Minnesota under 7.5. And the reason we're not playing them is the pitching. We're not sure what the expected outcome is. You got 3.5 ERAs going against each other. They could just as easily throw a shutout as give up 5 runs, and you don't know what you're getting. So those we got to stay away. The pitchers who are 2.0, the Verlanders, we know they're going to shut you out. The pitchers that give up 6 runs, 7 runs a game. I mean, there's a couple of them. I think the White Sox game, 2 terrible pitchers, and the over/under 7.5. Oh wait, these guys can't pitch. They're going to go way over. This should be a 10-run game. And I've been finding those are pretty consistently going over. If I see 4 ERA against 5 ERA and the over/under 7 for the game, I think every time I went over 7, it's 1. We will see. I think we got that with the Chicago. And I think San Diego, we have it where they're both 4.0 ERAs over 7. So that's what we got for today. So good luck to you. That's college week 1. We've talked about gold and silver, but let's take a last look at gold and silver. Gold and silver is a lock because you can't lose it. Gold's money, and it's gold, and there's huge demand for it. It can't go down. It's going up. It does go down because of the derivative price fixing from JP Morgan, but we know that is like fixing a sporting event. It's not real, They're fixing it. All right, as of 2, 3 o'clock. Hello. I hate when my thing doesn't refresh. So as of here, oh, here it comes. We got silver at 32.03, and I think it'll hold. And we got gold at 23.58. So we know they're going up. We're not really concerned. Why isn't gold except for Luke? Why isn't gold 2,500? We know that's where it's headed. We know it's being cut by JP Morgan so China can buy more. But the Ponzi scheme is when there's no more inventory left. So when this runs out, then the Ponzi scheme ends. And so they don't have much gold left or silver, as all the bullion banks went to China to get more silver. They could only get so much, and it's been depleted greatly in China. They don't have that much silver. They keep giving it to the bullion banks. So there's not a lot of silver, and the orders are huge because these companies need silver for the solar energy and the electric cars and the phones and the computers, everything they need silver for, and it's money. And so they need all that. So it's not a lot. There's not a lot out there in the first place, and there's not a lot. There's only 250,000 tons of this, 32,000 ounces to a ton, but that's not a lot. 200 because these central banks and the banks and the shadow banks, like China's got 60,000 of the 250,000 tons. Russia's got 30,000 of it. That's almost 100,000 tons. India's got another 10 to 15,000 tons. You're down to 100,000, and all the central banks have probably 10 tons of it. So there's not a lot. There's not a lot left over ground. Then it becomes like the Super Bowl. Right. So it goes on sale, and JP Morgan buys all the tickets, and then they go secondary market. And then the $300 tickets start selling for $3,000 if you want the 50-yard line. So all of a sudden you're paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a ticket for the Super Bowl, which is all secondary market. And that's what's going to happen in gold. It's being bought up, and now the demand's huge. The more the price. My guy says I went and bought my quarter ounce today, right? I went there. I went Saturday. It was closed, so I went today, and to try to cheer me up from this whole Daria incident. And we're talking about it. He says, "Well, when the price goes down, everybody panics and sells because they don't understand. They think it's going to collapse because they don't understand. It's price fixed. It's JP Morgan. They don't understand the demand, and they don't understand it's not a stock, it's money." See, the biggest problem is people think this is a stock. Why do stocks go down? You miss earnings, competition, a new law came out. All of a sudden Coca-Cola's earnings drop because of the inflation. And instead of making $1 billion, they make 500 million. Oh, their stock tanks because they're shrinking, right? But that's stock. That's not gold. Nothing happened in gold that forced the price down, and people don't understand it for whatever reason. They think that this is a stock. And in what world is silver at 32.04 a stock? It's not. It's silver. It's money. It's going down because JP Morgan wants to sell it to the Chinese cheap. That's why it's going down. But the demand from India and China and everything for gold and silver is huge. So when it does drop, they buy it and it goes up. And anytime you have strong demand, the price goes up every time. And you have very strong demand as this goes to zero and all of it. Nobody wants it. When nobody wants it, it's not worth anything. And so when this goes out and nobody wants it, they're all going to want this. And that is the bottom line. That's what you want. So you get into this stone cold. So that's why you should have no fear when the price goes down. It's a buying opportunity. I bought this today. It only cost me $640. Last week it was $700, and I didn't buy it. Now it's 640. There you go. So that's really the idea. Not when the price goes up, people are running in to buy it, but when the price drops, they think it's a stock. Stocks miss earnings. Gold doesn't miss earnings. Gold doesn't have earnings. This is worth so much more. As I showed you the Joe Montana rookie card, $125,000. So you're out of your fucking mind. Do you not think this is worth? Well, the ounce is not worth the 125. There is a lot. This is very limited, and there's huge demand for a 1 ounce. This is a half ounce. So if the Montana gets 125 for his PSA 10 rookie, I got a feeling gold's going to be real close to that amount. How the hell are they getting 125 from Montana's rookie? Now, I love Montana. I have the rookie card. I don't have it graded. It's at least a 9. It's beautiful. It's just a little off center because it was damn hard to find it centered. But there's demand for Montana's rookie, Jordan's rookie, Brady's rookie, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays. There's always demand, so there's always a value for it. So that's what you got to understand. There's always demand for gold, but the demand for the dollar is gone because nobody wants to be harassed by the U.S., and it's a pain in the ass if I got Swiss francs to sell it for this, to sell this to get euros or British pounds or yen or won or whatever the fuck they're buying. So it's very difficult. So that's really what's happening. So that's the story. Baseball. See, I see these guys and they do one thing. The guy's doing gold or the guy, you get it all here. Baseball, football, basketball, gold, silver, economics, stoic, girls, gambling, poker, whatever you want. Cut your slice up. I am the professor of all that. I won't talk poker or gambling now, but all this is gambling. You're gambling on this, that this is worth anything, and you're missing the point. This isn't worth anything. Anything valued in this, get the fuck out. And this cannot lose. This is the perfect lock. This cannot go down in value because of the demand. It had gone down in value because of the price fixing, and people weren't buying it because they were in the dollar. But now that the dollar's going under, this isn't price fixed as much, and the demand has jumped up here, and you can't fuck with it. It's limited. It's gold. Everybody wants it. The key to life, if everybody wants it, the price goes up. If everybody wants the girl, it's a lot of competition. When nobody wants it, there's no competition. It's a different story. So that's what you really have. So anyway, that's what we got. So buy your gold. I bought this today, quarter ounce, $650. So you don't have to buy the ounce. The ounce is 24 was $24.60 for an ounce. Well, I don't have 20. If I get the job, I'll find out next week. The guy gets back from Europe on the 3rd, so I'm expecting an interview the 4th or 5th. And so if I go and I get the job, then I'm going to go buy more gold because I have cash. But I got to keep the cash because I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell this at these low prices. I only get $1,200 for it. No, or $1,250. No, I'm going to wait till gold's 20,000 and get 10 grand for it. So that's my point. I don't want to sell them so cheap. But I don't look at the charts because the charts are bullshit. They're price fixed in the chart. So I look at it. I look at the Montana card and I go, well, that's where gold's headed. So my gold's too cheap right now. I know where it's headed because I know what the demand's going to be because this is the only money and this is going to save your ass. And it's a lock. You can't get fucked with it. Attack on Wall Street guy would never have lost all his money if he would have put it in gold. In fact, he'd have made 50 grand. He'd have turned his 60 into 110. Instead, he went to zero because he bought real estate trust because that's money and it's bullshit. It's manipulated by Wall Street and the banks. And this can't be. This is trying to be price fixed, but it's ending. It's all over. Now it goes to free market, and then that 125 Montana card, 125 grand, you're going to see 125 grand gold. It'll get there, but not tomorrow. It's just, it takes a while. You know, when I bought my Montana card, I didn't expect it to be worth 125 for a PSA 10, although I did try to get the best condition card I could find, but it was nowhere near the one, you know, I wasn't expecting. I think I paid 200 for it. I was looking for, I guess, a great card, a little off center, but I was looking for a gem mint condition card. I knew that much, but it was only 200 or 300. I never thought, oh, this is going to be worth 100 and a quarter. And that's my point. You don't think this is going to be worth 100 and a quarter until it is. And we know that's where it's going, because the demand is huge, because the whole world has this crap, and this crap goes to zero. Everybody's going to be looking around going, well, fuck, I got to go buy gold and silver. And when that starts moving and the big money starts moving into it, then look out. So we got gold, silver 3206 and gold 2360. So we need gold moving up. And notice the 10 o'clock drop was not that big. It went from 2362 to 23. It was only $10. We saw it last week. The 10 o'clock drop was $100 or $80 or some crap like that. You're not going to see that again. There's too many buyers, and they've already shot their wad, because when they did that, they had to then China and India bought the gold. So that's less gold they have to do these big derivatives. You can't do it without the gold. So they're almost done. So I think the gold Ponzi scheme's just about done. The silver one, as you can see, is 3206. And people are so stupid. They think, oh, well, that's really high. I better sell it. You know, it hits 35. Oh, I got to sell my silver. They don't even understand. They don't ask the critical question, why? How do you miss that question? They don't get it. They're too stupid to understand it, but it's the logic. At least ask why, what's going on. And that's really where you're at. So silver's going to 1,000 an ounce. So when it hits 50, why do you think it's high, and why are you selling it? You should be buying it. I bought this today. Now, you know, theoretically, this cost me $650. I didn't say it's high. I think this is a cheap price, $650 for that. I didn't look at it and go, well, you know, gold's at its all-time high. I shouldn't be buying. I'm like, fuck, this is like Christmas. It's so cheap. And that's how I look at gold right now. It's cheap. It's not expensive. I don't look at, because everybody's comparing it to the price fixing, going, oh, well, gold's 2,000. It's price fixed to 2,000. It's made off to 2,000. Now that we've got that out of the way, now it can go free market up to 20, 30,000, because the derivatives were holding it down, and they're leaving the field. And now it's, I want it, and all the central banks buying it is going to force the price up. And there's going to be no derivative to keep the price down. But if you think 2,400 or 2360 is the real price of gold, you're out of your minds. It's not even close. The 2360 is not anywhere near the real price of physical gold. That's the paper price of a fixed derivative gold price. It is not the real price of this. And we're waiting to get that. And right now we don't have it. And right now we buy more and more, because we know the physical price has to be 10, 20 times this crap. So I'm at 20,000 easy for gold. Now it's look like is it going to be tomorrow? And you know, it's headed there, but it's just, did you think it would hit 2360? So when I let Luke in the Barcelona airport, I'm sure gold was probably 1,700. Now it's closing on 2,400. Did you think it would go to 24? But it's got to go to 24 before it goes to 3,000. It's got to go from 3,000 to 5,000 and then to 10. So it's not going to go, it's 1,800 to 20,000, but it's getting there, and it's walking, it's happening. So just keep that there. So that's really what's happening. Anyway, I will leave you with that. Any questions or comments? I don't know who Filmy Jaskowitz is. With the strange David Gerzinski. I don't know that he understands the class. I mean, this is Austrian economics. He's not an economist. This is sports. He's not a sports guy. Who the fuck is this David guy? So I don't know. But Russian girls are cute. They're very nice. But my advice is don't give them money till you meet them. But that's my last quote on Daria. I do not believe she's playing with me or playing me, and I don't believe she's lying to me. I believe she does have health issues. I do believe she's a little bit psychological that she's afraid because she said she was afraid to get her implants. I'm afraid to go to the dentist. Well, I think that was a real thing. I don't get why she doesn't say hi in 5 days. That bothers me, but that's happened with Irina. She's from Romania. Oh, my friend's cousin, the father died, and I was with her for 2 weeks. I didn't hear from her for 2 weeks. So when they're busy, that's the Eastern Europeans. When they get busy, they don't worry about me. I assume that she knows I love her, so she doesn't have to worry about it. So therefore, she doesn't need the insecurity of it. That's all I can think of because I can't figure it out. Jenna's much stronger, and we text every day. So that's what also confuses me is Jenna texting every day. Well, where's Daria? They're both fucking Russians, so it makes no sense. Anyway, I'll know next week I should have my last interview and hopefully get the job. I impressed the CFO and the VP of finance, and it'll be nice. And then I can buy more gold with the money. They should ask. We should negotiate, and I should say, I'll tell you what. Give me 2 ounces of gold per paycheck. I'll be happy with that. Give me an ounce of gold a week. I'll tell you what. Give me an ounce of gold a week, and that'll be fine. And I won't even have to pay taxes. That's the thing when they pay you in dollars. If you notice, there's the taxes come out. Well, if they paid me in this, there wouldn't be taxes, and they wouldn't even know that I'm getting paid. I wouldn't even have to do a 1099 or W-2 or any of that shit because I'm getting gold. It's not on their radar. So that's the real scam, the Ponzi scheme. All right. I will leave you then. Any other questions or comments? Please feel free. I'll give you another minute or two. And that's about it. And I don't have anything for dinner. I made ribs yesterday. I got 2 strips. So I made one last night and one for lunch. I think I'm going to have an omelet or a salad. I could have a salad. No, I had a salad, I think. Yeah, I'll have an omelet. I put veggies and onion in it and that shit. And then I got to take something out of the freezer to make for dinner tomorrow. All right. Well, I hope everybody's well. Good luck on the games tonight if you're betting them. I think I'm actually figuring out baseball pretty good. And that's it. So football, www.teaserking.com. If you want to sign up for economics class, go there. Go to purchase picks and pick the class, $25 per class. You'll get all that back in buying gold, the first class. And I think that's really it. We've covered football week 1 and baseball. Basketball, nothing tonight. Basketball, I mean, what should happen, because the game's in Dallas should win because Dallas basically wants to win, but they don't have to win. Minnesota could win tonight because they have to, and basically Dallas doesn't. Dallas is at home, but we saw Minnesota win 3 games in Denver. So they're very capable of going on the road. I think Minnesota will play them a good game. I don't know if they'll win, if they can handle Luca Brasi or not, but we will see. Anyway, buy your gold. Be careful listening to these people on YouTube that don't know what they're talking about. And one last thing, there's no such thing as price inflation, as wage inflation, CPI. It's all bullshit. There's no deflation. All that is just Keynesian. In other words, if this goes up in price from $50 to $75, that's not inflation. How can it be? Inflation is inflating the money supply by printing too much. Are you printing more of this? If you are, the price is going down. So it really blows my mind when they call it price inflation. There's no such thing. They don't understand what inflation is. It's printing too much money, period. And then the biggest caveat, and I will close with this, is people think when they go to the grocery store and the prices are up. The prices did not go up. The value of this has gone to nothing. It takes more of these dollars, because they're worthless, to buy Campbell's soup than before. So Campbell's soup goes from $2 to $3. The Campbell's raised their price. No, this has lost its value. This is worth nothing. That's why it's not prices going up. These people are so stupid. It's the dollar with no value, and it costs more dollars to buy your Coke and Pepsi and Fritos and Oreos. That's what's going on. But the prices are not going up. The dollar's going down. That's why they can't measure inflation at 3% or 5% or, oh, the prices of food have gone up. No, it's the dollar has lost its value, and it takes more dollars to buy it. And yet they try to sell it like, Fritos is raising their price. They're not raising their price. It's the dollar has no value. And that's when you need to wake up and realize this is worthless. And anything I can buy with that, I'm happy, because it's not worth anything. So keep that in mind. That's the most critical point to understand. None of the prices at the grocery store have gone up, or gas, or heating, or electric, or any of that. It's this losing its value. And like I said, Pepsi in 1971 was a dime, is $2.50. Did Pepsi raise their price? No. This went from a dime to two. It takes $2.50 to buy the same dime, or even better yet, a half ounce was $18 in 1971. This is now $1,250 today. This is a half ounce Eagle. That's how many dollars they need, is $1,250 to buy what was 18. So you want to do the math on the percentage? Who gives a fuck? All I know is the half ounce of gold, still the half ounce of gold. That hasn't changed. The price has gone really the same. This is the difference, because these idiots printed 20 trillion of these, and they wonder why it doesn't keep the value. You can't do that with money. You can't print 20 trillion and keep the same value as if you didn't. That's why this is worth a couple $1,000s, because there's 50 of them. That's why this never loses its value, because you can't print it. There's 250,000 tons. That's it. And they make halves and quarters and tenth of an ounce and ounces and Cougarans and all these others. That's it. It's limited. They can't print more, and they can never print it, right? This comes out of the mine, and they mint it, but you can't print it. That's why gold never loses value, because you can't print it. You can't inflate it. It's a law. But understand it. So when the price goes down, it's price fixing. It's JP Morgan doing its price fixing. It's not the company missed earnings and the stock went down because of it. Understand that, and just put it in your safe and walk away. And maybe you take part of it to Switzerland if you travel, or some other location where it's safe. Don't put it in a bank. Don't go to a pawn shop to sell it. I go to a jewelry store where I buy it and sell it. It's spot. I feel comfortable there. Like I said, I sold an old chain and a few bits and pieces of, like when you have a gold bracelet and you take a few links out. So I sold that and I got 100 and a quarter, which helped me buy the quarter ounce. But that's what you've got to understand. That's where you buy and sell it. So I tell Jenna, don't go to the freaking bank or a pawn shop. She used to go to the pawn shop and don't go there. They're not going to give you spot. You want spot. I don't know if she has that there in the Ukraine or not. Like we might have to figure out where the best place. Right now, my place would be the best place where I go buy these at, but I do not want to sell at these low prices. So keep that in mind. Look for your exit strategy, but we don't need to sell it. And when you do sell it, you don't want this shit. So I'm not going to sell this for 1,300 and get 1,300 of this. That's the last thing I want to do, unless it's an emergency where I need the money to pay a bill or a medical or something. Otherwise, this is not being sold for 13. I'm waiting for this to hit 20,000. Then I'll sell it. And I don't want this. I'm going to want the gold-backed currency. If I have to go to Russia and get BRICS gold-backed currency for it, but I don't want US dollars because they're worthless. They're a pile of shit. And the quicker you understand that if you print dollars to death and go ask the Romans, go ask the French, Spanish, London and Amsterdam, go ask them what happened when they printed the dollars. Oh yeah, by the way, they all collapsed. So just look at history. Look at what's going on. Why are all the central banks buying gold? They're not idiots. They're bankers. They know that's where the thing is. So just try to be smart and you'll be fine. All right. I will see you tomorrow. I'm praying like hell. I hear from Daria. I don't know. I think let's say she's been working, and let's say she gets up and has breakfast, goes to work. Hard for her to text me there, comes home, takes care of the daughter, goes to sleep. And anytime she works, she's too tired to really text me, and she's not worried about texting me. When she does text me, it's always, I love you. So makes me very confused because I kind of feel it that she's being honest with me. So that's where I'm at. So I'm hoping she gets a day off soon because this is driving me fucking bananas. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Relax, enjoy, and buy your gold and silver. Buy your silver. It was $32 an ounce at my coin store today. I was going to buy like 10 ounces, and then I brought my gold, and then I went and I saw this for $6, and I go, okay, I got to buy that. He asked me, why don't you buy the ounce? I said, well, I don't have 2,400. It was $24.60 for an ounce. So I don't have $24.60 every time I come in to buy an ounce, but $600 to buy a quarter ounce, I can do that. All right. Have a good day, and I will talk to you again. www.teaserking.com. It's a football site, but it's, as you can see, I'm also got a master's in economics. So if you want to talk to me, go there, get my email, and feel free to email me with questions or comments. All right, everybody, have a great day. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Probably around this time, probably 1:30, 2 o'clock. All right. Good luck on the games.